guys, it's your girl Oduraa Quartey and I'm back with another YouTube video. If today happens to be your first time watching my YouTube video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If today is not your first time and you still haven't subscribed, you know what? I'm so happy you're back, but please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Alright now guys, welcome to my YouTube channel where I talk about everything grad school lifestyle. I do vlogs and I sing. So, welcome. In today's video, however, I will be talking about sample F1 visa interview questions and some answers that should serve as guidelines in your preparation for your F1 visa interview. Now let's get into today's video. Before we get into the questions, I did a video on tips for passing your F1 visa interview on your first try. If you haven't watched that video, kindly do because it will help you in your preparation for your F1 visa interview. Now let's go to the questions. Now the first question they can definitely ask you is, why are you going to the US? Just be specific, go to the point. I'm going to the US to pursue my master's, my undergrad, my PhD in, let's say, electrical engineering at the University of blah 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 blah. Simple, straight to the point. That's what you're going to do. The second question you can be asked is, why this university? Because there are so many other universities. Why did you choose this university? This is the time to show you've done your research. You've read about the school. Okay, this university has this expertise in my research, or you have the opportunity to work with a professor who has had a lot of experience in this field and you are going to benefit from that experience. Or maybe this university has great internship opportunities. Something about the school that made you attracted to it. Highlights that show that you've done your research, you've read about the school. Number 3, they can ask you, are you married? It's a yes or no answer. Yes, I'm married. No, I'm not married. Number 4, they can ask you, what is your highest degree of qualification? So have you gotten an undergrad? Have you gotten a master's? You highlight that. Just let them know. Let's say they ask you what's your highest degree of qualification. You just answer, oh, I got a degree in telecommunication engineering from the Kwame University of Science and Technology in Ghana. Simple, straight to the point. Your next question could be, what is your research interest? Yeah, if you're going to pursue a master's with thesis or a master's without thesis or a PhD, what's your research interest? You let them know you've done your research. Explain your research interest like you're explaining it to a baby, like a child. It's not the time to go and be using the technical terms, you know, like, and the this or the that. Nah, this is not the time for that. Explain it like you're explaining to a baby. Like, anyone can understand your research interest when you explain it to them. Right? And the next question could be, what are your plans after graduation? It's not the time to say, oh, I'm going to pursue my career in the US. Yeah. From my previous video that I said you should watch on tips for your F1 visa interview, it is important. It is very, 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 very important that you show that you plan, you intend to come back to your home country. It's very important you highlight that. So when they ask you what are your plans after graduation, you can say something like, oh, I plan to return and climb the ladder in my company. Maybe you're working at a company, climb the ladder at the company, or you want to come back and teach, or you want to come back and start your own business. Something indicating you are coming back to your home country. And the next question they can ask you is, how many schools did you apply to? So you highlight the number of schools you applied to, you list them. You understand? And the next thing they can ask you is, how do you plan to fund your studies? If you have been fully funded, maybe you've gotten a tuition waiver or you've gotten an assistantship, a fellowship, you just highlight the fact that you've gotten that opportunity, and then it will be highlighted in your I-20 that the funding is present. However, if you are going to be funding yourself, this leads me to the next question. Who is your sponsor, and then how much do they earn? So if you are sponsoring yourself, you show how are you going to sponsor yourself. If you are saying, oh, I'm going to sponsor myself with savings, this is very key. Are your savings enough to cover the duration of your program? If you are pursuing a master's for 2 years, are your savings enough to cover that period? You understand? If you are pursuing a PhD for 4 to 5 years, are your savings enough to cover that period? Because there was an experience I heard about where the guy had funding, but he had funding for a year, he had savings for a year, and they asked him, okay, so what about the other years? He couldn't answer the question. And so once you cannot do that, they don't want a liability. They don't want someone who will come and then the person will be stranded. You need to prove you can cover yourself, you can cover your funding or your tuition for your stipulated period of your coursework. Same, so if someone else is funding you, the same thing, can the person's job. So if, let's say, your auntie is funding you, or your uncle is funding you, your father, your mother, the question they can ask you is, what does the person do? You highlight, oh, the person works at so and so and so as a so and so and earns an annual income of so and so. You understand? Highlight the fact that the person can cover your tuition for your stipulated amount of time. It is very, very, very important. And also your bank statement, you are supposed to bring a bank statement of your sponsor so that they can see, okay, the person actually has the money and I'm just saying it. So don't forget that. Even when you are saying you have your savings, you need to show your bank statement. Don't forget that. All right, the next question is, do you have any relatives in the US? Like I said in my previous video concerning the tips for passing your F1 visa interview on your first try, if they're asking you a question, they probably already know the answer. And so if you have relatives, when you talk about relatives, you're talking about like your close family, like your nuclear family. So your mom, your brother, your sister, your father. Do you have relatives like that in the US? Don't lie about it. It's a yes or no answer. Yes, no. Do you know where they stay? Now, if you have relatives that may be close family and you're in the US and your immigration status is not really good, I would not suggest you highlight that, because that can go against you and it can go against them. So just pay attention to something like that. And also know that whatever you highlight in your DS-160 form, if you go against it during your F1 visa interview, it's obvious you're lying. So make sure everything is accurate on your DS-160 form and everything is accurate in your interview. Another question they can ask you is, why the US and why not your home country? Especially if you are doing a course that can be done in your country. Let's say an MBA. You can get an MBA in your home country. Why are you not getting your MBA in your home country? And why are you now getting it in the US? You highlight, oh, US has a history of producing excellence, blah, blah, blah. You just find a nice reason, you understand? It doesn't mean you should put your home country down. Maybe you feel like you get better exposure. You know, there are certain things that you feel would maybe help or contribute to your growth, that US provides a better opportunity for you as compared to your home country. Something like that. All right. Another question is, where will you be staying? So this question, you don't have to you don't need to have found your apartment. Or okay, I'm coming here, I know where my apartment is, because when I was coming, I didn't know where I was going to stay. Like I didn't have my apartment ready. But what city is your school in? You should know that. So you should just mention, oh, I'm going to, let's say your school is Clemson. Hey, let's say it's Clemson University. Clemson is in South Carolina, and it's in, my school is in Clemson. The city is Clemson. So I'm going to stay in Clemson. That's all. Just know where you're going to stay, where the city you're going to stay in. And another question they can ask you is, have you ever been to the US? This is a yes or no answer. If you have been, yes, no, I came. Yes, I came from a vacation. Oh, yes, I came to visit someone. Something like that. Straight to the point. Another question they can ask you is, why should I grant you this visa? And this is a sample answer I could give you. You could say, granting me this visa would help me, it will serve as a stepping stone in achieving my next goal, which is obtaining my PhD in this, which will help me come back to my home, come back to my home country and serve as so and so. See my answer. I've brought my home country back. I'm indicating I want to come back. Very, very important. All right. Another question they can ask you is, when did you graduate? So that's in terms of your undergrad or your master's. And then they can ask you, what did you do after the graduation? So for instance, for me, when did I graduate? I graduated so and so. When I finished my graduation, I served as a teaching assistant in my university. Just highlight that. If you went to work, well, I went to work and as this and this, you understand? Next question they can ask you is, why the US? Why not Australia? Why not Canada? Why not Germany? Because a country like Germany, like this, when you get admission, your tuition is free. You don't pay anything. So why not those countries? This is where you also highlight the fact that you've done your research about the country you're going to, which is US. US has state-of-the-art architecture. They have state-of-the-art this. They have the tools you feel. They have expertise in your research interest. Something. Little time to show that, yeah, you've done your research. You've read. You understand? How did you get to know about your school? So the school you are going to, how did you get to know about it? Did you search online? Maybe your research interest, you felt, okay, this school is very good at this, or it was recommended to you by a lecturer, or you know a friend who is in that school and the person is enjoying their experience. Just say how you knew about the school. Then another question they can ask you is, what course are you going to be taking, and then why? So if you did your undergrad in this, so some people maybe they did their undergrad in maybe computer engineering, and then computer engineering is closed. Let's say maybe you did it in, maybe like an agricultural course, and you're going to pursue a master's in computer science. That's like a very huge deviation. So it gives you an opportunity to explain why your interest was developed in this field, something like that. You understand? So what course you'll be taking and why? Maybe you feel the trend is moving towards this research or this field, and you realize how important it is for you to build your capacity or your expertise in the field, something like that. Then they can ask you, what's your study plan? This is when you also show you've read, you've asked questions from your school, you've asked your school questions. Like, so when you're pursuing like a PhD, a direct PhD, you have to fulfill a certain number of course credits and a certain number of research credits. And for instance, for some schools, it's 36 credits, for some schools, 42 credits, and then research is like 18 credits. So you highlight things like that. Oh, these are the things in my study plan. I plan to do so number of courses in every semester so that I can fulfill my required course. I can fulfill my course requirements. And then you highlight maybe some of the courses you've read. You know, okay, this semester I would like to take maybe a wireless networking course or a switching course, something. Like, you highlight the fact that you've read and you've asked questions. It's very good to do that. The next question they can ask you is, have you been denied a visa? Once again, I'll highlight the fact that if they're asking you the question, they probably know. If you've been denied a visa, it's going to be in their records, obviously. So you just say, yes, no, I have been denied a visa. They can even go and ask you, if you've been denied a visa, they can go on and ask you, why do you think you were denied a visa? Can you imagine? That they can ask you that. So, for instance, because sometimes you genuinely don't know why you were denied a visa. Like, I don't know, you know. But sometimes you can't also just say, I don't know. So you can say something like, oh, maybe I wasn't confident enough during my interview. Or maybe maybe you didn't highlight clearly how you're going to fund your education. Maybe you didn't communicate it clearly. You just say, oh, but this time I came prepared, and that's why I'm showing I found it this way. Something like that. It shows that you're paying attention. It shows you're being objective and understanding why you were rejected and why you're coming back better and stronger. Then another thing they can ask you is what did you pursue your bachelor's degree in? So, okay, I pursued my bachelor's degree in telecommunication engineering at the University of simple. Another thing you can ask you is, what city is your school located in? Like I said before, read about your school, know where it is. You can't be going somewhere you've not read about it. And they can ask you, what were your test scores? So maybe when you're coming to apply for grad school, maybe you wrote GRE, you wrote GMAT, TOEFL, IELTS, what were your scores? They can even ask you, what was your GPA during your undergrad, or what was your GPA during your master's? The last question they can ask you is, have you got any loans? So some people want to go to grad school, but they don't have a sponsor. But you know, going to grad school is going to be beneficial for your career path, or is the next stepping stone for you, and you're taking a loan. They would ask you if you've taken a loan. Do you have? Say yes. And the next question they will ask you is, how do you plan to pay the loans? I'm sure for you to take a loan, you have a plan, to highlight your plan clearly and let them know why. There's something I think I missed in the whole thing. So let's say maybe you went to school, you went undergrad, and you completed, let's say 2017 and 2023, and you now want to go and pursue a master's. They can ask you, why are you going to pursue a master's at this time? Like, why have you waited so long and it's now you want to pursue a master's? Another thing they can ask you is, let's say you have a master's already and you're coming to US and you're going to pursue another master's. They can ask you why. So you have to have a valid reason. Maybe you feel, okay, when you did the master's in your country, at a certain time, this was there, or maybe there are new advancements that you need to catch up in, something like that. You have to be able to justify your reason. I hope these questions and answers help. This brings me to the end of the video. I hope you liked and enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, feel free, reach out to me on my social media. You can leave any question you have in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video, watch, comment, and subscribe. Share this video. Tell your friends that I've released another video. If you want to pass F1 visa interview, come and watch my video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video.